the shadows, down low. You don't know what I'm going through, don't know what I'm going through. It's down low, down low. You don't know what I'm going through, don't know what I'm going.
Hey, welcome back TPL Nation for another draft analysis video. And this one we have the Long Beach Cinderaces, coached by Richard Carlos. And this is a really good team. Richard's been around for a while, and I feel like he's just took advantage of the draft to make his already good team even better. So as we start off, we actually do have the mascot, the Cinderace, probably the premier Dynamaxer on his team. I could definitely see with Libero changing this Pokemon's typing to whatever it's attacking with Life Orb giving it that boost. It definitely has the power to sweep through whole teams with Bounce and High Jump Kick for its speed and attack respectively. Gunk Shot for just an overall good, powerful poison type move. And then Pyro Ball just as a really strong fire type move at 120 base power. Cinderace is really good. Like, I feel like I don't have to tell you guys that, but it's got interesting coverage moves. Maybe not the best, but I feel like with its ability to change type with Libero, it gets plenty. Iron Head could be useful absolutely on this. Sucker Punch could be nice. U-Turn, Zen Headbutt. Each one of those types is a different typing that Cinderace can turn into, so you could definitely see some utility with stuff like that. Electro Ball could be like a more niche move to hit water types. I haven't seen it brought by Richard yet, but it is a move that he could go for, that I have seen on other Cinderace sets. But as we move down, there's not much else to use, but I feel like obviously Cinderace just has enough. With Libero giving it stab boost on anything it wants to go for, it's a very strong Pokemon. 119 speed is really hard to outrun. 116 attack is very respectable. So I feel like Cinderace is just going to do more of what it did last season, just get kills and be a threat. As we move on to one of the premier walls on Richard's team, we do see Milotic here. I do like the Flame Orb Marvel Scale set. I feel like that's just really its overall most reliable set to help it eat up hits. With Scald, Ice Beam, Haze, and Recover, it gives a nice mix of chip with recovery and utility with Haze just to get rid of opponent's stat changes. Milotic can live a lot of hits. He can live certain strong hits that nothing else on your team could live. So I feel like it does make it a really good hazer. And as we go down through, we do see a few other moves it could use. Dragon Pulse, Blizzard, Screen Support if it wanted to use that. Substitute if it wanted to avoid status from its opponent so it could get its Flame Orb, or just not. If you could run leftovers on this and it'd be just fine, I'd imagine. As we keep going, not too much down here. Aqua Ring is interesting. Disarming Voice could be very niche if you just need a fairy type move. It's there. But there's not a whole lot down through here. We do see some ground coverage and Mud Shot, which could come up as really niche use. But not a whole lot else through here. But I feel like Milotic, for what it is, being a wall, it gets everything it needs just in like this 4-move set, with a few added weapons and tools that could come. So Milotic definitely going to be a good Pokemon to continue to soak up hits for the Cinderaces, so I'm excited to see the return of Milotic. And then we have a new weapon for the Cinderaces in Heatran, and I really love Heatran, giving them that fire immunity. You can run Air Balloon. It also gives them a ground immunity as well, a temporary one, but it's still there. I love Eruption on Heatran because it just hits ridiculously hard. Lava Plume for backup or low HP. Flash Cannon just for that steel stab, and maybe Stealth Rock for just like a little support move. But Heatran definitely has other moves it could use. I'm just going to scroll through it a little bit. We could see a niche explosion coming out on Heatran. That'd be interesting to see. Seeing as Heatran's not the fastest thing in the world, it could just blow up on something, which could be very interesting. We do know it does have Magma Storm. When it hits, it can trap Pokemon in, so that could be another fire move it uses. Overheat, just another really strong fire type move to use. Scorching Sand's a new move for it, so that could be interesting to hit other maybe rock types with or something of that nature. We do see Toxic on it, maybe to whittle down stuff that Heatran knows it can't touch. Will-O-Wisp to possibly burn physical attackers. Stone Edge just in case, maybe you want to hit a flying type or something like that super hard. But as we move down, there's not too much else left here. But honestly, I think Heatran's, we all know, it's an amazing Pokemon. You have Solar Beam there for a niche use. I think Power Herb Solar Beam could definitely be another good move to use for Richard, as well as just a Sun matchup. Definitely pack that Solar Beam. It's a really powerful grass type move that some people might not be expecting from Heatran. I think Power Up Solar Beam would be pretty good for like rain matchups or stuff like that, where you might not expect Heatran to shine as much. As we move on to a really good Pokemon, in my opinion, is Aerodactyl. Now, Aerodactyl got a couple buffs this gen, and it really stands out. First off, it got Dual Wing Beat. Now, Dual Wing Beat, you might not think it's all that great, but before this, I believe Aerodactyl's best usable flying type move was Aerial Ace and Wing Attack. Not good moves, not good moves. So Dual Wing Beat gives them the ability to, when it hits, it can break Substitutes, Sturdies, Focus Sashes, hits twice, and it gets 80 base power. So pretty good there. You have Stone Edge here for just your normal rock stab. Earthquake, because ground coverage is amazing, and we have the second tool for Aerodactyl to use in Dragon Dance. Now, I think Focus Sash Dragon Dance can be very scary to boost up Aerodactyl's already monstrous speed and attack, and definitely could see Aerodactyl being the apex predator against teams that are lacking in priority. And even then, a lot of priority, it does tend to resist like quick attack, extreme speed, stuff like that. So you're going to need specific priority to hit this thing. And I think Aerodactyl can be a sleeper threat on the Cinderaces team, even as a possible Dynamaxer, because it's already super fast. It can come in with 130 base speed and fire off Stab Max Airstreams into the opponent's face like it's gonna hurt. As we move on to the next member on the team, we do have Celebi. I really do like Celebi for support use on this team, just because it does have U-turn to pivot in and out. I like the screen setup for it to support the rest of the team. Healing Wish to bring something back if it needs to. I think you're going to get more out of that than relying on Psychic and Grass stab attacks. This thing's 4 times weak to bugs, so not the best with moves like U-turn and First Impression running around out there, as well as weak to common moves like Knock Off and Flying Stabs. It's going to be flying all over the TPL. As we move on through its moveset, it does get quite a bit of coverage, like Ancient Power, Aura Sphere, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Energy Ball, Stab, which is pretty good. Giga Drain could be interesting. Heal Bell, so it could also play the role of a Cleric if it needs to. Leech Seed could be annoying just to get some HP back. Nasty Plot, we could see like a Nasty Plot Celebi Sweeper come in. That's definitely a possibility. Recover there to get some HP back. Shadow Ball, another good move. Stealth Rock, gotta love rockers. So honestly, Celebi has a ton of support it can use, a ton of offensive moves it can use. I'd be here all day if I was going to highlight all of these. I had no idea Celebi's move pool was just so deep, so it really does have quite a bit of moves it can use. So Celebi, I think, will be best used as a support Pokemon for the Cinderaces, but he could definitely use as more of an offensive Pokemon too. That's definitely not out of the question. 100 base speed is very respectable, absolutely, and could definitely see Celebi firing off some good strong Psychic type moves and being a possible threat. But I really do like that light clay screen set to support the rest of the team, and Cinderace especially. And then we move on to Decidueye. Now, I really like Decidueye. I have the Assault Vest set just because I feel like Assault Vest Vortex is probably, a pretty good solid set. It does get other moves, in like defog and other such things. It does get haze, which could be interesting. Screen set again. Nasty Plot could be interesting. Poltergeist, if you don't want to run Spirit Shackle, is right there for some extra damage. Sucker Punch could definitely be nice. Swords Dance would be really nice on Decidueye. Tailwind support could be great. Yeah, there's just a lot of tools for Decidueye as well, I feel. Maybe not too many, but to be honest, it could definitely be putting in some work against an opponent's team. Sky Attack, so that Power Up Sky Attack set's always there. And that's pretty much it for Decidueye. You know, it is giving them another dark weakness, so that could be something that they have to watch out for. As far as ice type weaknesses, I feel like they have that covered, with Heatran being one of the best ice switch-ins in the game. And then we'll go into the next Pokemon here, which is Articuno. I really like Heavy Duty Boots on Articuno, so it can forget about Stealth Rock switch in, and it's going to extend its viability a lot more. And with moves like Ice Beam and Hurricane, it's pretty good at firing off some good powerful stab moves. Defog, just to get rid of hazards, and Roost to roost this Pokemon back up to get extra damage off. I really like Articuno. It may not come every week on the Cinderaces team, but it gives them a nice option to defog, a nice heavy-duty boots user, and ice and flying is a pretty good coverage, pretty decent coverage there. So I definitely do like Articuno, and since this is Kanto Articuno, it can roost up, which is something it has over the Galar birds. We did talk about Galar Articuno being able to recover, but I do like OG Articuno. It's nice to see it in the league. It's nice to see it on a good, decent team like the Cinderaces, so I hope it puts in some work. As we move down through, we do see support moves like Aurora Veil, which could come into clutch, and I'll tell you all why in a little bit. Freeze Dry is always interesting to hit water types, so that's very nice. Heal Bell support's nice too. Screens again. There's a lot of Pokemon that get screens just in Pokemon in general. Substitute could be interesting. Steel Wing possible, like niche, very niche move. Weather Ball could be interesting in like Sun or maybe Sandstorm. As we move down through, not too much else for Articuno, but I mean, it could get maybe like a niche Mirror Coat set or something like that come for it 1 week. Sheer Cold's right there. Hey, feeling lucky, go for it, dude. Water Pulse is interesting to hit fire attackers if it needed to. Not exactly the best move in the world to run on Articuno, but hey, it's there if you need it. And we move on to Sandslash. Now, Sandslash is a Pokemon that I really don't think will stay on the Cinderaces team, and just because I feel like it's a really good Dynamaxer. But I feel like they're just going to be blinded by the Cinderace, which I can't blame them so much for being, but Alola Sandslash is kind of like another version of Excadrill, and I'll tell you why. Excadrill is a Pokemon that Dynamaxes and sets up its own weather to get fast, and with Slush Rush, it can Dynamax, throw off the Icicle Crash from Max Hailstorm into something, and set up the Hail, doubling its speed in the Hail. So then Alolan Sandslash can keep throwing off really strong attacks. I did have Aurora Veil just as a support option at the end of the Dynamax, but you could definitely run something just like Swords Dance and go full offensive with it. But yeah, I just don't see it really staying on the team that much because on its own, without Dynamax, Alola Sandslash is a little lackluster, but it does pair pretty well with the Heatran. Heatran, of course, being able to absorb fire moves for Sandslash. It does give them another ground-type weakness, so you may not see Alola Sandslash come every week, which is unfortunate. I really love this Pokemon and its design. It's probably my favorite Galar form. Alolan form, like a regional variant in general, probably. So that's pretty much it for Sandslash. There's not too much else you could use on it. But it does have some niche options like Brick Break, or just as we move down through, Hone Claws might be interesting, but I mean, Swords Dance is right there. Ice Shard for priority could be nice. Knockoff's always a great move to use. Leech Life, oddly enough. Poison Jab could be interesting. Stealth Rock, so it gives them another rocker, it gives them a spiker, which is very interesting. Super Fang, probably won't see that come out on Alolan Sandslash too much, but it is there just in case. Triple Axle, a new really strong ice move when you can hit it, and if you can hit 3 times, Triple Axle is very strong. But personally, I think you should just be better off sticking with Icicle Crash. Like, it can like miss, but like, I'd rather take the 90% chance to miss and actually do some good damage than take a 90% chance to miss and then just do like laughable damage. But hey, we'll see. They all have their pluses and minuses. As we move down, there's not too much else it could use. We did see Aerial Ace for some flying coverage if it wanted to use that in a Dynamax setting. But it's not too useful, seeing as how Slush Rush is still a thing. There's not much support moves that I could really see this thing using, not like Mirror Code or anything like that, because, you know, it doesn't really want to live, it doesn't really want to take a special attack too much. But Sandslash is a really good Pokemon. I really hope it gets on a team that can use it or will use it well, because I really want to see this Pokemon put in work. It's pretty good. I really like the Alolan Sandslash. So all in all, I think the Cinderaces team is very interesting, to say the least. It's kind of unorthodox just in a few of these Pokemon. I don't like Celebi too much here, to be honest. I feel like the doubling up of the fire attackers in Heatran and Cinderace could be interesting, but you obviously have the things to take in the ground moves like Milotic, Aerodactyl, Celebi, Decidueye, Articuno, so you have plenty of ground type switch-ins, which is nice. But I think all in all, you know, if this team loses Cinderace in a match, it's just going to have a hard time swinging for big damage. Like, there are a few things on this team that can put in work, like Aerodactyl or Sandslash in the back, but I think if Richard just has a one-track mind on Cinderace, that could really hurt him, being able to use the rest of his team effectively. I think all in all, I'll probably give this team a 7, and honestly, the only reason it's scoring that high is because of Cinderace, so I don't want to hear any of you guys saying, oh my god, he gave the Cinderace team a 7. Like, no, it's only getting that because of Cinderace. I don't like Celebi. I think it's very hard to use as a Pokemon. Articuno's kind of hard to use as well. You pretty much have to use heavy-duty boots unless you just want this thing to get ate up by rocks. Sandslash isn't really super supported by this team. It doesn't have a hail user on this team. I mean, a snow warning user. So, you know, Sandslash, while being able to set up its own hail, it will be slow for that first turn of Dynamax, if it even gets to Dynamax on this team, which, to be honest, I doubt it will be able to do. We saw Richard Dynamax Cinderace pretty much every week last season. I don't remember him Dynamaxing any other Pokemon besides Cinderace, and I feel like if he keeps that trend going, it will hurt potential Dynamaxes like Aerodactyl, like Sandslash on his team. So that's my final rating. Gonna throw this man a 7, and I'll move on to the next video. I've been Ace Trainer Ryan. Peace.